Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group and RetireSharp.com. Today's topic, I want to discuss with you guys, how long will my retirement last? And this is probably the most common question we get time and time again, into our agency, whether someone's calling through our radio show or calling through our YouTube channel, is they want to make sure that, or at least a retiree, pre-retiree, wants to have the correct systems or strategies in place to make sure that they are not going to outlive their retirement monies. And what we're noticing is right around 90% of all Americans are falling below the poverty level right when they hit their retirement age. And that's obviously a big problem. So what I want to do with this video is expose what are the negatives with a lot of individuals' accounts, see if this might correlate to you, and then show you some different ways on how you can get more consistency, more certainty in your retirement by just making some tweaks, or at least exposing some of those negatives and really seeing what some of those problems are, and then go over the three main criteria that every individual should have in their overall plan to make sure they could live their retirement with confidence, to make sure they're receiving their income streams properly, and they have an abundance of monies left over that they can leverage as something I deem their fund monies. So let's get started. The problem lies that individuals have been contributing to their retirement accounts or their retirement savings vehicles, since inception, since they started to work. So you have an individual that was typically contributed to a qualified retirement account like a 401k, and what would happen is each year that they worked or each month that they worked, they would take a portion of their salary, place it into this sort of retirement account, and what would determine whether or not this bucket was larger at the end of the day, the end of the year, would be the made plus whatever the interest credit that came back that was associated with that 401k account. So majority of 401k accounts, they're associated with something known as mutual funds. So you might have different slews of options, about 25 different mutual fund options to choose from, saying, okay, I'm a conservative investor, I'm an aggressive investor, whatever that case may be. So if this person was contributing for years into their plan, and let's say they placed in a total of $100,000, well, what's going to determine whether or not this $100,000 is going to be sitting in this bucket or is going to be larger is going to be the amount that they contributed each and every month, plus whatever this interest credit is. So, they could be sitting at, this person could have placed 100 grand into their account. They could have $500,000 into their account. And then just like in 2008, you had a bad market loss that wiped this account clean, or basically hit this account down 50%. So now they're sitting at a $250,000 in their account. So these mutual fund performance, there's a couple of negatives that come with it beyond downward market losses, and that's something that a lot of individuals didn't realize in the 1980s and 90s, because they kept seeing their accounts go up. They were realizing that the stock market was excellent, the mutual fund performance was really good. Anything that they'd be investing in, they seemed like they were financial gurus, just basically picking anything, and they would see a positive rate of return. So what happened was individuals trusted the market and thought that as long as they throw monies at their 401k, at their qualified retirement accounts, that that money should always be going up. And what we've noticed in more recent years, especially since 2000, is no, it's not guaranteed. It's nothing more than a stock market casino. And ultimately, you had Wall Street that got very wealthy by setting individuals up with these plans and implementing these sorts of qualified retirement accounts. So when it comes time for retirement, an individual might have monies like non-qualified monies if they sold a house or they sold a business. Well, that might be a portion of their monies. Or majority of them have some sort of retirement assets, such as their 401k, their IRA, their Roth IRAs, 403bs, TSPs, etc. All those different sorts of accounts that are just essentially sitting there. And now this individual is coming to the point of, okay, I understand I have to at least be more conservative with my money. I don't want to leave it to chance, but how exactly do I pull this money out to make sure that it's going to last as long as I do? And this is the problem time and time again, that individuals are siphoning out these monies. They're still leaving their money at some sort of risk, some sort of speculation, and there's nothing guaranteed about those monies. And on top of it, they're paying mutual fund related fees. They're paying high advisor fees. They have that downward market loss potential. They're trying to pull money from an account, so they don't know how much money to pull out, properly. So there's just a big problem that's associated there. The point that I want to try to make is, you don't have to utilize your retirement assets and your cash accounts into this risk. It's not necessary, especially when you're looking to retire, when you're, 10, 5, 1 year out, currently in retirement. There's ways on how you could go and leverage your monies into specifically designed plans that will be set up for either max income, for safe accumulation, for a maximized death benefit, maximized legacy to your loved ones. There's a whole slew of different things that you could get more consistent returns that will give you more of that peace of mind, more of that certainty in retirement, rather than just say, oh, I got to leave my market because that's what I'm so accustomed to doing when I was working. So what are the problems? What are the problems with the typical individual now? And then how exactly can you really, trigger in or focus in on those problems to then get some of these consistent returns, some of these consistent accounts that I'm speaking about? And it all goes through the factor of reverse dollar cost averaging. What happens is if you have a typical IRA account that's tied to mutual funds, well, those mutual funds are going to come at a specific cost. So according to Morningstar, the average mutual fund related fees in IRA accounts average right around 1.31%. So that's a fee. That means if your account doesn't do anything, you're still losing out 1.31%, or we could just use 1%, for example. So if somebody has $100,000, they're already going to be $1,000 in the hole before that account does anything. The second negative is going to be an advisor fee. You have these wealth accumulation specialists that will go, they could either go door knocking, they might see them, around the block from where you live and say, oh, this guy seems like a nice guy. Let me